I am delighted to be a part of this process. Me and Keryl have been friends for a long time. We watch each other grow. We watch each other turn into women of God. That's the thing that I'm most delighted for. But I'm so excited of the opportunities because I've seen her work the works that need to be worked.
That's right.
And I'm excited about the opportunity that we have here in Fort Bend, Missouri City, in order to expand it to a whole nother level. I know that they have chosen the right person to get that accomplished. I have watched her. She is a woman of purpose. She is a woman of passion. And her passion drives her to do what needs to be done. And I am going to continue to support her and do whatever needs to be done, not only in my actions, but in my talk and support. But the thing that I'm most excited about is that all the people who are excited about what is about to happen in this area. We're speaking about the Missouri City branch and vicinity, but it's all about what's good for Houston. It's all what's good for the United States. So we just want to be a pivotal part of that process. And I'm just excited to have the opportunity to introduce this lovely, beautiful, gracious, humble young lady that has become a friend, a confidant, and a person who advocates with a desire that you've never seen, Miss Keryl L. Douglas.
All right.
I'm originally from Florida, and being that far away from home, I don't have many family members here, but there are two very important family members that I'd like to introduce. And first of all, that's my son, that wonderful Boy Scout who posted the colors for us, James Matthew Douglas II. So we're a student at Westbury Christian School. And I had to become a woman of God because I had to really bug God for that baby. So I am exceedingly proud to have him. But before having him, my older sister Cheryl was gracious enough to share her son with me as my own. And that was the very handsome gentleman who held the Bible for me during my installation, and that is Robert Williams. I'm exceedingly proud of him. He is following in his second mommy's footsteps. He's in his third year and about to graduate from law school at Thurgood Marshall School. So with that being said, while my comments to you this evening, in the interest of time and schedules, will be brief, my commitment to this organization, to its mission and its work, will not. Advocacy and the empowerment of all people seem to be built into the very fiber of my being. Advocacy for the liberation of God's people is my life's true work and my heart's true passion. I commit to you, to our communities, and to our country to stay the course until the important work of this historic agency is done. And America, the ideal, as described in our Declaration of Independence, as expressed in our Constitution, and as mentioned in other great and similar documents, has become synonymous with America the real, the America that we live and experience each and every day. To that end, we need all hands on deck. We need all people of goodwill, such as yourselves gathered here tonight, to be members and active volunteers and supporters of NAACP and other similar advocacy efforts. We need all eligible citizens registered and voting. And for those not eligible to vote, we need you to serve as the encouragers and the reminding forces of those who are eligible. The NAACP Missouri City and Vicinity Branch recognizes that all persons are VIPs, very important persons. But we endeavor to ensure that all persons are also VEPs, voter empowered persons. I believe the VEPs are the people empowered to vote, the people empowered through election by these voters, as well as all the people whose lives are empowered and impacted by the power of the vote. We invite you to recommit to our all-important voter mobilization efforts, and for those who are not currently registered or with family members who are not, we have voter registration applications here on site tonight. At the inception of the NAACP at the turn of the century, blacks in America were being routinely denied the right to vote, and we even experience that today. The predecessor that eventually gave birth to the NAACP we know today began as the Niagara Movement, led by Dr. W.B. Du Bois and 22 other African-American men meeting on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls in 1905 to address the suffrage of blacks in America. The next year, Mary White Overton, a wealthy Anglo-socialite, embraced the effort and invited her friends, Mr. Walling, an Anglo male, and Mr. Moscovitz, a Jewish male, to join her in this effort. This integrated group of advocates assumed the name the National Negro Committee, which was changed to the NAACP during its national convention. Since its formal establishment in 1909, the NAACP has fought against racism, discrimination, bigotry, racial violence, and associated societal ills. We have had some gains, but unfortunately we've also had some losses. Much has changed, but much has not. At times the soldiers have grown weary, the battle has become obscured, and the mistaken sentiment that civil rights advocacy is no longer needed has taken root. I submit to you that the NAACP is just as needed today, if not more, than at its inception. The strategy of systemic racism has changed, but its debilitating outcomes on communities of color and the poor has only gotten worse. While true equality has seemingly remained significantly elusive for far too many Americans, the encouraging truth is that we can achieve it. And together, I believe we will. John F. Kennedy said, "One person can make a difference, and we should all try." We invite you to join us and be amongst the ones who are still and shall always continue to try to be the one who makes a significant difference for our society. The problem is, there are far too many who are deceived in the comfort of the shadow of those who did stand and fight the good fight of equality, facing bullwhips, dogs, lynchings, arrests, burnings, and other atrocities, but standing and remaining undaunted in the fight for equality and liberation. Through their battles and sacrifices, even of life itself, we were afforded a more comfortable citizenship. But the truth is that this more comfortable citizenship is still second class. Racism, discrimination, and exclusion are still the status quo in far too many sectors. A few may be comfortable, but far too many are not. They are without adequate access to quality education, housing, health, employment, economic or entrepreneurial opportunities, legal justice, and fairness, and the list goes on. We can and we must immediately work to significantly improve or eradicate totally these imbalances in our society if we're to remain strong as a nation. We are committed to this goal, and we invite you to join our branch in accomplishing it. Dr. King, whose birthday we celebrate this weekend, profoundly reminded us that injustice anywhere leads to injustice everywhere. Whereas most of us feel safe from the injustices promulgated against our youth in the schools and the juvenile justice system, whereas most of us may feel insulated against the injustices faced by many African Americans in the criminal justice system, we cannot be deceived into resting on our laurels. Injustice anywhere leads to injustice everywhere, including into the very homes and lives we mistakenly believe to be shielded from the experiences of the poor. Barbara Jordan appropriately termed our obligation intergenerational justice, stating that we, the present generation, owe it to the past generation who fought valiantly in the past to fight the good fight of equality today, so that we may leave a better society for the generation tomorrow. Throughout several committees of the NAACP, this branch will endeavor to achieve stronger communities by addressing the needs relevant to our veterans, health, voter mobilization, legal redress, youth development, and all the critical areas that would make this America great, including uniting with our fellow advocates to protect and enhance important and historic institutions like Willow Ridge High School. In the wake of the horrific violence in Tucson, Arizona, claiming the life of the young and the innocent and injuring many others, our great president, Barack Obama, reminded us that we must disassociate from the political rhetoric that devises and incites violence and commit ourselves to the language, actions, and efforts that unite us around the common cause of advancing, strengthening, and protecting our nation and all its citizens. I submit to you that just as a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, our great nation is only as strong as its weakest community, and our community is only as strong as its weakest citizen. We must work to ensure that even our weakest is extraordinarily strong. I submit to you that Kennedy, King, Jordan, and President Obama were right. First, that one can make a difference, and that one begins with each of us in this room. Secondly, that injustice anywhere will most assuredly lead to injustice everywhere, and that we all do indeed owe the debt of intergenerational justice. But finally, that we should and must all come together in unity and come together for action to achieve true justice and true equality for all. I invite you, through this call for unity, through this call for action, to join the NAACP. And I commit to you to serve with diligence and unwavering commitment in this office of president with which you have entrusted me. And I humbly, with the greatest of honor, accept. Thank you.
Brought to you by the Missouri City Fort Bend chapter of NAACP, Hermika Bibbins of MarketTrendConsultants.com, and Craig Anthony Nicholas, MrCan.net.